Hello and welcome to the Greenhouse game. Make sure you enter both player ID and group ID before you proceed with the game. You can click on this video tutorial button to redirect you to this video. The purpose of this game is to plant crops and generate a profit. In level 1, you will be able to select different water levels and different crops to plant. In level 2, in addition to crops and water levels, you will also be able to select different nitrate levels. Level 3 has all the features of Level 2 and also includes confounding variables that might affect your yield. For this tutorial, we will only be testing Level 1. The price unit column shows you the cost of planting a certain crop in one plot. The yield income column shows you the money you would get after selling the crop per bushel. Now, this is the page where you can select different combination of crops and water levels that you want to plant. First, select the crops that you want to plant. Then, input water levels in the second block. You can enter up to 5 values. Make sure that the water level you insert is an integer between 0 and 60, otherwise the game will give you an error. The block on the right shows you how much it would cost to test every combination of the water levels and crops you've selected in the game at least once. Input the number of times you want to test every combination here. Since there are only 40 plots in the game, you won't be able to proceed if the number here is greater than 40. Now, you can choose between two game modes. Choosing the randomized mode lets the computer plant the combinations you have chosen in different plots for you, whereas in the manual mode, you will have to choose specific plots to plant your combinations yourself. Let's try the manual mode first. At the top right, you can see how much funds you have left. Right below that, it will show you the season you are on, which is basically the number of times you have played this level in one game session. At the bottom, you can see the inventory. Each of these squares indicates a combination of a crop and a water level. The color of the border for each individual square indicates the water level. The squares with the same border color have the same water level. You can hover over each of these squares to see more information about them. To plant a certain combination, simply click on one of the squares and then click on a plot. You can plant the same combination on multiple plots as well. The orange indicator here shows which square you are currently selecting. After you have planted a certain combination, the outline of the plot will be the same color as the combination you planted there. You can now hover over the plot to find the same information. If you want to change the crop or water value of any of these plots, simply click on the Modify button and choose a plot. In this pop-up, you can edit the crop water values and hit Save. If you click on the cross, the values won't be saved. The plots that have been modified will have a black outline like this. After you have planted all the combinations you want, hit the Grow button. Remember, once you hit Grow, you will not be able to plant more crops as you can only plant crops once per season. You will not be able to modify the plots after you have clicked on the Grow button. You can now hover over each plot to see the yields generated in that plot. After you harvest, you will be able to see the total yields generated in the bar on the left side of the screen. Click the Sell All button to sell the harvest. After you finish the game, it will show you the income, expenses, profit generated, and the funds you have left. You can click on this menu button to play different levels. You can click on this data graph button to better analyze the relationship between different factors that affect the yield of crops so that you can generate higher profits next season. You can click on this continue button to play the same level again. Based on the data graph, you can experiment with different values to try to generate a higher profit. Now, let's try the randomized mode. At the top right, you can see that this is a new season. Here, the design is highly similar to the manual mode, except you won't be able to modify the values for each plot. As you can see, the plants have already been planted. You still have to click on the Harvest button to harvest the crops. If you hover over the plots where crops were planted, you will be able to see the statistics like in the manual mode. Click on the Sell All button to sell the harvest and have the income be reflected in your funds. Thank you for playing the Greenhouse game. We hope you enjoy it.